All right, welcome race fans, Race Sim Nation here tonight at Pocono, up here nestled in the mountains of Pocono, Pennsylvania, near Long Pond, getting ready for a 65-lap run here tonight, and they are all here. Chad Cole, Landon Huffman, Guy Snyder, John Abbott, the whole crew here with Real Sim Racing. Let's introduce the booth here tonight. Of course, they call me the Cowboy, J.D. Webb. Working tonight in the place of Ron Day, who suddenly had to gas up the generator down there in Alabama. Matt Close be calling the action with me up here in the booth, as well as doing double duty. A little bit of information coming off of Pit Road. John, the bad boy Wesley, of course, we call him Magic Fingers here at ETV Live. He'll be working the cameras for you tonight on the broadcast. But, Matt, let's talk about last week here for a little bit. Dover, Delaware, the Monster Mile, it came out and bit a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah, it did. Spinning out on the restarts and getting to the wall, you saw a lot of drivers just smack off the wall and have to park it early. Not too many cars finished that race on the lead lap.
And Landon Huffman going home with the trophy last week at Dover, led 97 laps last week, so certainly the lap leader. But I'll tell you, Artie Williams looking pretty sharp last week as well. He led 40 laps at Dover last week. But Pocono, here, 2.5 mile track, Matt, and it's a kind of a triangle-shaped track. It's got a big old long straightaway. Speeds approaching 200, 205 miles an hour going into turn 1. And then coming around turn 1, you go down Long Pond into the tunnel turn, come off the tunnel turn down the short chute into turn 3. And looking for some action here on turn 1 and probably turn 2 tonight. I know you talked to some of the drivers down there. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing on the restarts, turn 1's just going to be a pig pile on just trying to get in there, maybe 3, 4 wide. A lot of drivers are going to have to slam on their brakes. But watching them practice, where I've seen the most trouble is getting off the turn 2. I've seen more people smack that wall than I have anywhere else. And I think I've seen more people smacking the walls tonight than spinning out, which is the opposite of what we usually see.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, 65 laps later, we'll know what happens here tonight. Let's go ahead and take them down through the points here and let them know who's who and who's where here at Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series here on Monday night. Starting out at the top, Landon Huffman. He came home with the trophy last week from Dover. He's sitting at the top of the heap tonight with 490 points to his credit. But sitting right underneath him, unseated here a couple of weeks back, Chad Cole, who's having an awesome season, finished 15th. Not the best finish he was hoping for at Dover last week. He's only 7 points behind Landon Huffman. And then sitting in third position, Guy Snyder, who's also having a stand-up season this season, guys, finishing in the top 10 last week at Dover, 7th place, 17 points behind the leader, Landon Huffman up there. And then in fourth position, John Abbott, who was looking pretty good at Dover last week, got into trouble early and unfortunately finished in 16th position, usually a top 10 finisher here at Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. He's 55 points behind Landon Huffman tonight, coming into Pocono. Sitting in fifth position, guys, Doug Roth, who finished in the top 10 last week, newcomer to Real Sim Racing here, 95 points behind the lead. And finishing in sixth position, Joseph Hayes, who was looking pretty sharp, just outside the top 10 at Dover last week, finishing in 11th position. Joseph Hayes sits 99 points off the lead. Adam Roberts, who was absent at Dover last week, sitting 102 points behind the lead, Landon Huffman. And then in eighth position, Joey Gattina, who had a really bad start last week at Dover, finishing 23rd, at least collecting the 23rd position points last week. He's 110 points behind the leader in eighth position. In ninth, Jeff Addison. Jeff Addison finished 13th at Dover last week, 113 points behind the lead. And then bringing up the top 10 here, Bill Schoonover, 131 points under Landon Huffman here, and that was also absent at Dover last week. So, Matthew, like I said, tonight we're getting ready for 65 laps here at Pocono, and I tell you, anything can happen here, as we saw during practice. Some issues down there on turn 2 and turn 1 as well. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see. And Chad Cole's really helping to get back on his horse and get back the points lead after his finish last week at Dover. And he was really kind of upset about what happened to him on the restart. He had all that damage, but he was able to fix that damage and pick up a couple more spots to gain a couple points back. But just going back to last week, we have to remember Landon Huffman may or may not have got lucky, not knowing if he could make it on that final fuel run where they finally got green. The drivers are thinking they might see that tonight. A few quick cautions at the beginning, but if they don't pit, they're going to have to make a pit stop sometime, and it's going to really might turn into a fuel mileage race here.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm old school. You know, Mark Martin. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for me every time I got a chance to come in and to the pits. But you know, Pocono. You know, let's talk about past experience here. You know, Pocono is the kind of track where you got to get the position, get it early, because it usually breaks down into single file racing. Very difficult to get positions here, Matt. So that's going to come on the track in the first couple of laps, and also on pit road. How important is the stop going to be down on pit road?
Oh, the pit stop down on pit road is going to be extremely important, and a lot of drivers are saying maybe if a quick caution comes out, they can go and get a gas and go, and that will guarantee them to go get some track position, also move up their way to the front. They're going to try and get that gas in there because that might stop them from having to make a second pit stop somewhere in the middle of the race. They're saying the fuel window could be between 32 and 35 laps, which just puts them shy of making it on one stop here, possibly if they're running their cars too hard or not in the draft. So pit road's definitely going to be interesting. We might see a lot of 2-tire stops instead of 4 tires tonight.
All right, and I'll tell you what, sitting alongside us up here in the booth, special guest, we have this evening Bob Earl joining us. Bob Earl, of course, you know, giving up one of the Mark II virtual racing chassis for a season championship prize. A big, huge thank you to Bob for doing that for Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series here tonight. And, you know, looking down the resume, Bob Earl has, he's got 24 career victories in the International Motorsports Association's Camel GT, 2 victories at 24 Hours at Daytona, a victory at 12 Hours at Sebring. Hey, we were just there here just a couple of weeks ago. 13 solo Camel GT victories. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Welcome to the booth, Mr. Earl.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You know, let's talk about the race car, the racing career first before we get into the virtual racing chassis. You know, you and I had a discussion this afternoon on the telephone, get you set up on the communication software here today. And I told you, you know, it was, you know, as a kid, I mean, I was very, very happy to be talking to a real race car driver, the first time ever in my life. You know, when you're a kid, you know, you always want to tug on the shirt tail of somebody famous, of, you know, a race car driver, and say, hey, you know, what is it like to drive a race car? But, you know, having you in the booth here tonight, you know, tell us about your career in racing.
Well, I don't know if we have enough time, and I hope I can remember most of it because I'm getting old. But in
Aren't we all?
Yeah, 1972, I started racing Formula Fords. I worked at the Bondurant School down at Ontario Motor Speedway and got involved that way. And I managed to win the national championship in '73 in the first all-American Formula Ford ever built. Raced Fords for another 3-4 years. I was actually a paid Formula Ford driver, which is unusual, which means I didn't pay for it. Then went to Atlantics and Formula 5000 for a while, fooled around with different stuff, trying to see what class was going to survive. And ended up running Formula Atlantics late 70s, early 80s, and then Super V. And then after I won the Grand Prix of Macau in 1981, I thought I was on my way, and that's when I didn't have a ride for the next 3 years. So I kept working at the school and got hired by Pontiac and Joe Huffaker to drive in the IMSA GT Series. I started in GTO and the Fieros, and then went up to the GTO Fiero, which was a V6 powered car against the Chevys and Mustangs and everything. And then got into the GTP cars in 1988 and ended up driving for Nissan 90 through 92, and that was actually my peak. And then I drove Camel Lights in 93 before retiring unwillingly because the series died. We didn't have much choice there.
Oh, that hurts. But I tell you, I understand that you're still active in the racing industry, I guess you would call it. Still doing some coaching, some teamwork.
Yeah, I've always been a instructor at Bondurants and freelance coaching and testing, and lately I've been I did run the Derek Daly Academy driving school in Las Vegas from '96 to 2000. But when I decided to move back here because I was homesick, I just started coaching and coached a few IndyCar drivers, beginners. Corey Witherill in 2001 qualified for the Indy 500, the first All-American Indian, Navajo. And but then I started coaching vintage car guys because I really like the cars and they keep you in better hotels and better dinners than the race teams do. And I've gotten the chance lately, last 3 years, to get in the cars because I asked the guys to do things and they weren't doing it, and I figured maybe the car can't do it. And I got in the car and they were terrible, so I just started testing the cars for them. And they've gotten in some pretty phenomenal race cars, some pretty spectacular stuff that I watched as a kid, and now I get to drive them. And it's been a blast, so that's what I've been doing the last few years, is coaching, testing, and developing the cars.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And, going from the real race car driver experience and all of that and translating that into the virtual racing cockpit, how did that come about real quick?
Well, that came about because my son was racing. He was 7 years old in 2001 or so, and he was racing on a PlayStation with the joystick, and he was kicking my butt. So I had to get a steering wheel. I couldn't even keep it straight with a joystick, and got a steering wheel, and then I did better, but I was so uncomfortable. I said, my back injuries, I said, I got to fix this. So I put a seat on a wood frame, and I wanted it to feel like I was in the cockpit again, and then got up with Joe Hufford again, and he said, well, let's make these and sell them. And I said, yeah, I need another problem. But anyway, that was in 2002 and started making them, and that's how the VRC got started.
Outstanding. And I'll tell you, we've got a couple of drivers here tonight that we know of that actually use the VRC driving a racing cockpit, racing chassis. And of course, like the ad says, when we do the plugs for the online plugs that we do for the VRC racing chassis, it's designed by a real race car driver, so it's got to mean something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys complain that it's a little hard to get into because it's so low to the ground, but, in a real race car, they're not easy to get into either, and they're low to the ground. So I wanted to make it as realistic as possible, but when you get in it, you don't want to get out of it usually. It's very, very comfortable. And it keeps you in shape getting in and out of it anyway.
You bet. All right, and unfortunately we're out of time here, Bob, but again, thanks for joining us here in the booth here tonight. Look forward to anytime you want to come in and join us here on Monday nights, you're more than welcome. Sounds good to me. Thanks, guys. Let's go racing. All right, Bob Earl from BobEarlRacing.com. Why don't we go ahead and take it trackside as the Cactus Cuties present the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
hard as you can go all the way to the wall, dig, 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 back to speed. Tires looked awesome too, bud, and there at the end you were mowing down those guys pretty quick.
Guys, stand down on your 20, hard and fast.
You've been doing an awesome job. We'll get us one tonight.
Nice car, hold on. Flag, green flag.
All right, and we are back live here at Pocono Raceway up here in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Big thank you to the Cactus Cuties for about the most wonderful rendition of the national anthem, Matthew, that I have ever heard in my life. Almost makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck listening to those young girls sing, ages 11 to 16. And here at Pocono, watching qualifying taking place here, Matt, Chad Cole on the top so far with a 55.310. That is probably the fastest lap here that I have seen at Pocono. Dwayne Vincent coming in second with a 55.484, Matt. All right, as qualifying continues here. All right, perhaps Matthew having some electrical issues with the communications equipment here. We'll keep it rolling. R.J. Williams with a solid third place qualifying run with a 55.52. That's a pretty lickety split around Pocono Raceway here, guys. Fouts with a solid fourth place run so far on the track right now, completing his run. But let's talk about something new here at ETV Live. It's already up in operation. That's going to be the 24-hour channel here on ETV Live. 24-hour entertainment. And I'll tell you, some of the lineup featured a blast from the past. I know John had just got through putting some old races. You talk about blast from the past. We're talking about way in the past, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. We've also got some of the old Just a Damn Minute pieces that we used to do back in the old RSN days. And some more content coming your way. Some of the top 10 races here featured on ETV Live. Don't miss that. It's on the etv-ebay.net site, and look for that 24-hour channel from the redirect page. So lots of fun stuff here at ETV Live. All right, and Matthew back in the saddle again up here in the booth. A little bit of electrical problems there for a minute, but watching qualifying here, Matt. Chad Cole sitting on the pole up there with a 55.310. Dwayne Vincent almost about a tenth and a half off with a 55.44 up here. But I tell you, these guys are looking pretty sharp during qualifying.
Oh yeah, they are, and it was kind of amazing because at the end of qualifying, I hadn't really heard of this Dwayne Vincent, or the end of practice, I mean, earlier today. Dwayne Vincent was kind of in the shadows, but with just a few minutes left to qualifying, he popped right up there and ran a 55.3, fastest in practice earlier today. He's certainly sitting second for qualifying with a 55.484. But it's amazing, Chad Cole on the point with that lap time, because you think in practice we see like laps of qualifying, they're going to be tons faster, but Chad Cole actually beat his practice lap, which was a 55.356 with a 55.310. And that's kind of a fast lap around here, don't you say?
Yeah, I think so. You know, going back to the days where I used to race, I don't think I could even come close to a 55-second lap around here. About 56, low 56 is about all I could do. But I tell you, technology, equipment, you know, it all pays off. And of course, you know, 55.310, that's an absolute fast lap right here at Pocono. But I tell you what, let's go through the schedule here at ETV Live real quick while we're waiting for these guys to get tuned up, make the final adjustments on the cars down there on pit road. But looking at the schedule here, coming this Wednesday, 30-plus racing. I believe they'll be at Michigan Speedway. You don't want to miss that action as 30-plus racing gathers, I believe, green flag at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday at 7 p.m. at Gunner 4 SR, going to be at Michigan as well. So a couple of nights at Michigan. Book your rooms tonight, Cowboy. And then on Friday night, of course, the Friday Night Showdown had an awesome race last week, and joined David Bass, Mike Conti in the booth on Friday night. I believe they're going to be at Michigan also. So I think, you know, I think I saw John a little bit earlier. He was down in the back of the building this afternoon working on that ETV Live Winnebago. You know, that old 1968 motorhome we got back there. John, did you get that thing all cleaned up and ready to roll?
Is that my cue? Am I supposed to be in Pocono tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I seen you back there. I seen you down there behind the ETV Live headquarters down there in the old garage working on that old Winnebago, getting ready to go to Michigan this week.
Ooh, I think I'd much rather be in Michigan than at the Pocono Mountains, JD. I get my hay fever starts to act up every time I get out here at Pocono.
All right. Hey, some more action coming your way on Sunday night. You don't want to miss this one either. Dirt racing from, I believe it's going to be south, or actually it's pavement racing this time with the midget cars from Simpro Racing. They're going to be at South Boston Speedway, Cowboy, in the midgets. That ought to be something to watch. That'll be happening here on ETV Live. Dirt Sim TV, of course, that's the biggest news here in the last couple, about a week or so, coming out of the ETV Live offices here. Dirt Sim TV coming over. Now the place you want to watch all your dirt racing. ETV Live, of course, acquiring Dirt Sim Television, and Tyler Burnett. Tyler Burnett, one of the best broadcasters when it comes to calling dirt races going. So, but I believe I hear things starting to fire up down there on the grid, Matthew. I believe see cars starting to take their place on the starting lineup down here. As we get these guys rolling here, looks like it's going to be just a few more seconds as these guys make the final adjustments. Crew chiefs talking to their drivers as they start taking their place down on the grid here. Why don't we go ahead and run them down through the lineup here. Looks like Chad Cole, obviously we've been talking about him here during the qualifying session. He's going to start on the pole here tonight on the front row. Dwayne Vincent, he'll be starting in second position in that number 13 machine on the outside of Chad. Landon Huffman tonight, guys, that's your points leader. He'll be starting in the second row on the inside in that 75 machine. R.J. Williams, Huffman Racing teammate in that 21 car. He'll be starting outside of Landon tonight in the fourth position. Starting in fifth will be the number 12 of Rick Fouts. On the outside of him in sixth position will be Randy Wells. Chris Solenberger, he'll be starting in that 35 car on the inside, seventh position. Steve Ritter on the outside in eighth position, that number 16 machine. Doug Roth, he'll be starting in ninth position in that number 43 machine. Outside him in 10th, Mike Montesi in that number 20, Matt.
And 11th on the inside row, you got Ben Burnett And then 12th on the outside, you've got Kale Dressbach. I think that's how you say his last name. And on the inside, then you've got starting 13th, David Lanza. Outside 14th, the number 18 of Chad Schilling. In 15th, you've got on the inside, you've got the number 27 of Guy Schneider. Third in points, but maybe he won't be able to get it done tonight, starting so far back in the pack. You got starting on the outside, number 22 of Ronnie Potts in the 16th position. 17, you got the number 10 of John Abbott. On the outside, you've got the number 44, starting 18th of Rob Bowling. On the inside, in 9th position, the number 36 of David Wright. 20th,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so 20th place on the outside, you've got the number 14 of Joey Katina.
My bad. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Matt. You closed. Starting 21st, going to be R.C. Rigdon. We saw him last week. Had some problems at on one of the restarts last week. Managed to spin the tires right there in the front as he took the green flag and kind of brought everything to a halt. Jay Horton, he'll be starting in 22nd position in the 83 machine on the outside of Rigdon. And then in 23rd in the 38 machine, Dane Horton. Tony Kaler, he'll be starting in 24th position on the outside in the 94 car. And Keith Brooks, he'll be starting in 25th in the 71 machine on the inside. Outside him at 26 in the 29 car. Scott D. Collins, remember him from the Nation, RaceSimNation.net. In 27th position, the 85 machine of Nathan Bowers. And I'll tell you what, looking for some action here tonight at Pocono. 65 laps on the board here tonight, guys. So we're looking for some problem areas. Turn 1, turn 2, and as Matthew was talking about tonight, you know, tires are going to mean everything here. Pit stops. So look for some fast pit stops as we get ready to take the green flag. Pace car leading them through the final turn here as we get ready to go. Suck them belts down tight and get ready to romp down on that gas pedal, cowboy. 17 car of Chad Cole, no stranger to the front row up here. Dwayne Vincent, he's I think this is his first time up here on the front row. Looking through the stats here, but I'll tell you, Landon Huffman, he's no stranger to the front either. As the pace car pulls off, green flag flies. Dwayne Vincent looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit, Matthew, as Chad Cole gets the early lead going into turn 1.
We got a caution somewhere on the track back around the start-finish line right after the leaders cross. So let's see if we can't go back and find some information on what happened.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. I don't see anything. I'm going to have to roll my monitor back here and see if I can come up. It had to have happened right on the restart, I would think, guys. Roll it back through, see if we can't pick it up.
The number 84, Ben Burnett, spun the tires on the restart, and he slides right in the front of the outside line of that number 18, cutting across the 22 into the 36 and just shooting a bunch of cars down towards the wall. This ends a lot of guys' night early. They didn't even get to run a lap here, which is just bad luck for some of these guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's oh man, a bunch of them piling up here on the front stretch here right from the get-go. Looks like the 27 involved. Don't know if David Lanza was part of that or not, but certainly the 36 machine, David Wright involved. I think looks like the I don't know if that was a 44 machine or not, but big wreck happening. First caution of the night right here on the front stretch, guys. All right, let's send it on down to the bad boy, John Wessling, for the replay.
Yeah, let's see if we can kiss up, guys. I mean, it had to happen. Just a snap of the finger, and we seen Ben Burnett towards the end of that race last week do the same thing, spin the wheel. And you're exactly right. And he's going to spin the wheels. The 84 is going to go to the outside wall, cross right back across traffic. Ow! Oh wow! Look at that! Oh wow! Look at that hit he took. That 36 car hit, and then hard licking the outside wall, guys.
And I think, Matt, I think Ben Burnett has been forced to take that machine back behind the wall. Going to call it a night here at Pocono. As watching him try to make it on around, and it was just crab walking something fierce.
Oh yeah, this ends a night for a lot of good guys out there, and we heard a lot about track position, and that's one reason here. These guys, they've showed it last week at Dover. They're not very patient on these restarts, and they take out a lot of good machines just trying to get back to the green flags.
You bet. First caution coming out here at Pocono here tonight, and I tell you, that's an omen of bad luck. And you know, we saw it last week at Dover. Problems with first gear, guys just not being very patient on the throttle, and kind of romping down just a little bit too hard. And you know what it does is it lifts the back end of that car up off the ground, breaks the traction from the rear end, and of course on around they went. We saw that happen a couple of times last week at Dover. Probably not going to get any action coming down pit road here the first time out, so I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and take our first commercial break of the night. You're watching live, ATV Live, Cowboy, Pocono Raceway with Real Sim Racing, Full Throttle Cup Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. All right, and we are back live here at Pocono, and a little bit of an issue taking place down there on the track with the timing markers, guys. I believe that looks like we may have some black flag issues down there. Now on the restart, let's take you back to that, actually on the start of the race here tonight, take back to that 84 car, and about the middle of the pack, Matt, spins out and causes a big wreck right there close to the start-finish line. Now, the rules state that you pretty much have to stay in line before you get across that start-finish line before you start maneuvering around and taking positions. A lot of these guys, they couldn't, it was unavoidable, and they evidently passed cars that they should not have passed prior to that green line, so hence a number of them have a black flag. Now, starting with John Abbott in that 10 machine, Jay Horton, Tony Kaler, Scott Collins, Nathan Bowers. These guys up in front are actually on the tail end of the lead lap, I believe. Chad Cole is actually going to be your race leader. He's right now in first position. Dwayne Vincent, Landon Huffman, R.J. Williams, Rick Fouts are your top 5 drivers. But as you can see on the monitors here, the number of cars that are in front of the 17 machine, those are actually drivers that are on the tail end of the lead lap as race officials try to get this sorted out.
And from what I understood from hearing the drivers talk and everything, is that the way that caution came out and everything that was going on is the way the pace car pulled out, a lot of the cars got trapped behind them and everything, and now they're going to get to go around with the 1 to go, and Chad Cole will line up on the inside of, I think it's Dwayne Vincent in second place. So we're going to get ready to go green in here in just one more lap, I believe. But yeah, they got their black flags. They already got them cleared by the race officials, and they should be all set to go now, and hopefully we'll see some green flag racing.
You bet. As all those drivers that were in front of the 17 machine, Chad Cole, get the wave around here just like they normally would under race circumstances here. Of course, that's to clean up the mess that was caused by the 84 right there at the start-finish line at the start of the race. So as we get set to take the green flag one more time, Chad Cole will pick it up again, and like we said, Dwayne Vincent, Huffman, Williams, and Fouts will be your leaders here on the restart. Want to give a big shout out to Bob Earl. Thank him for joining us in the booth here tonight. Of course, Bob Earl from Bob Earl Racing, the makers of the VRC Mark II virtual racing seat. And while I'm talking about it, it's a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. You heard him during pre-race show tonight. Now, he understands, Matt, what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. Look at all the races he's won and all the races that he has run. The design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. $349, cowboy, plus shipping. You can see it at BobEarlRacing.com. 3,000 of these things sold. ETV Live is proud to endorse this product because of the design and an inexpensive, high quality, and affordable alternative to others that cost thousands of dollars. Taking the green flag one more time here at Pocono. Chad Cole gets the lead over Dwayne Vincent on the restart here. Let's see if we can make it down into turn 1 without any issues this time. Side by side, Landon Huffman and Dwayne Vincent up here on the top. Vincent having to get out of the throttle just a little bit sooner as he occupies that top lane up here. Going down the long pond is, I believe I see the caution out again here, guys.
We got another caution happening back somewhere within turn 1. Let's see if we can't find out who may have been in this.
Yeah, I'm looking on my monitor. I see the 46 machine way up high on the wall. Don't know if it was him. I think we'll have to roll
the
back
38 car dives hard into turn 1, it looks like, and just loses it. He almost hits somebody and just loses it, slams into that outside wall. But he doesn't get into anybody else, but that is one destroyed machine, and he'll be packing up the trailer early and heading for next week.
All right, let's send it on down to Magic Fingers for the replay.
Yeah, one more time, guys. We're not getting very many green laps in here. Kind of like deja vu from last week. It looks like he just gets wicked loose here, guys. just slides into that outside wall, takes a massive lick into that safer barrier. Good thing that's here. We need 911 and the EMS out here. John Abbott's going to squeeze through here. Oh, and there's another car comes into the wall, the 19 car. He barely misses it, but he's going to sit there right in the middle of the turn, guys.
You know, I'm watching this on my monitor, guys. Almost, I think the 44 might have had something to do with that, Matt. It looks like the 44 might have helped the 38 around here a little bit. It looks like they might have made contact right up there on the front right of the 44 car.
The way it looked to me is he just went in and he dove in there like that car wasn't even there, and once he looked a little bit to his left, made contact with that car, he kind of just picked it up, and he's like, he didn't know what to do and just spun himself out. Over exaggerated maybe on what he had to do to correct it and not take them both out, but who knows.
7 laps in the books here at Pocono, and I'll tell you what, you know, 65 laps on the board. Patience is the deal here, and it doesn't look like the 38 machine had a whole lot of it here on this restart. So caution number 2 here at Pocono as these guys get it all sorted out.
Yeah, JD and Matt, I didn't see any contact. I mean, he was actually the car, there was a car in front of him, and he was the back car, so I don't know how anybody could have possibly hit him, but I didn't see any contact. I seen him look like he might have thought to come down low, and there might have been a car inside, and it might have startled him a little bit, and he just got wicked loose in the middle of the corner. But that's just how I'm calling it, guys. Could take a vote.
Take a vote.
I would call for an audience vote, but we ain't got much of an audience tonight. So.
No. All right, I tell you what. You know, you're probably right. You know, I mean, it depends on what monitor you're looking at here too, and I don't have all the cameras that Magic Fingers has down there at his beck and call. But certainly caution number 2 coming out here. We know that much for a fact. So I hope this isn't a sign of things to come here, Matt.
Yeah, let's hope they can get a green flag running here the next time. But watching this replay over a couple more times, I also see the number 46 of Randy Wells shoot up towards that wall. It looks like he may have locked up the brakes a little bit or something the way he shot up there, but there's some heavy damage to that right side of that number 46 machine too.
That's who I initially thought might have brought the caution out. I stopped there when I was rolling back through my monitors, and I stopped on the 46, but like I said, just a brush of the wall up there didn't look like, you know, nothing indicated he brought out the caution. But 38 car certainly in big trouble here at Pocono here tonight, bringing out that second caution. I'll tell you what, we just had a couple of commercials already before we get too far. Why don't we do a couple of online plugs here? I want to tell you about the after show here on ETV Live. ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting with ingenuity and vision. ETV Live has set the bar in providing the best in online simulation autosports broadcasting. It's your online autosports entertainment network. ETV Live features the very best in online simulation racing, including road course racing, dirt track, and stock car racing. Enjoy the after show, a 24-hour network featuring reruns of ETV Live's top 10 racing events, blasts from the past, and coming soon, the Pit Report, Klein's Corner, Just a Damn Minute, and a whole lot more. Remember, ETV Live, the only choice for your sim racing broadcast needs, energetic commentators, reasonable rates, and the best in quality. ETV-eplay.net. And nothing has changed up front here, Matt. Chad Cole still occupying the front row, and nobody coming down pit road yet, except the guys that were involved in the cautions here to get some repairs done.
The one change we do have on the front row, though, is within that short time period of getting the green, Landon Huffman was able to work his way around Dwayne Vincent, but I don't see much of a change happening there. And Landon Huffman kind of being a little bit of in the points lead and everything. We expect him to run strong tonight and maybe even work his way around Chad Cole, pull away.
All right.
All
who's
right.
me?
And I believe we've got radio contact with RC Rigdon. RC, you got a copy?
I'm here.
Hey, big troubles here at Pocono on early laps. Tell us what's going on down there, bud.
All I know is come to the green. A couple cars got a couple different places. Just trying to survive the rest of the race here. Filling in for Bill Schoonover tonight, and just trying to bring it home. It's trying to keep it in one piece as far as it is, as one piece as it is. So.
Planned pit stop, or did you get caught up in some of that melee down there?
I apologize. I'm having a little bit of communications disruptions here.
Was that a planned pit stop? So you just come out of pit road down there in the 19 machine, or was that a damage control?
It's just more damage control. Still repairing from that first incident. It was originally about 9 minutes of repair, so just trying to maintain, damage control the laps down. I'm already 2 laps down. Hopefully we can get another couple of lucky dogs here and stay on the lead lap.
Well, JD, this is one of my old, long-time racing buddies, Ron Rigdon. Ron, how you doing, buddy? I ain't seen you forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A couple deployments and, working, finally moved back from over Germany back to the States now, so.
Yeah, I was just telling JD, I knew he was overseas somewhere, but I couldn't for the life of remember. I know your old man, I think he still lives here in Indianapolis, doesn't he? Yeah,
he's still in Indianapolis. I was trying to convince him to move to Florida, but he's still hanging around tough in Indianapolis.
All right, Ron, buddy. It was, hope you have a little better luck with the rest of the race here, buddy, but we're going to cut you loose, and hopefully maybe we'll see you in the post-race show.
Absolutely, I'll be here. Thank you.
All right, that's Ron Rigdon in that number 19 car down there. Early problems here at Pocono. And again, Chad Cole up here in the front, Landon Huffman, no stranger to the front row up here. Dwayne Vincent, R.J. Williams, Rick Bouts, same top 5 up here, going to get the green flag here one more time and get this thing rolling. And let's keep our fingers crossed this time, Matt, and maybe everybody can get through turn 1.
Oh yeah, we're gonna really see a race towards turn 1. Hopefully they can all barrel in there, and hopefully get some good green flag racing in here. I think R.J. Williams and Landon Huffman are really looking strong again tonight, and they might be able to pull away again like they did at Dover. But who knows? Chad Cole ran faster than them in practice and qualifying, so he may be able to be the one to pull away here. Track position is everything.
As the green flag comes out, and we're back to racing. Oh, the 21 car hard into the wall. Caution coming out of here right on the restart, guys. Same thing as we saw at Dover. R.J. Williams hard into the outside wall right on the restart. That's going to be just like what we saw at Dover. Almost a spitting image of what we saw at Dover. Let's throw it on down to Magic Fingers for the E-Wind.
Yeah, guys, I came into this thinking this was going to be a long night, and this is going to be a long night. We're going to watch these guys coming off the final turn. Gonna take the green flag here, and we're already seeing a lot of wheel spin. And this is way up in the second row on the outside, and this can't be good when you get wheel spin, guys. These guys are going to power on the gas, and he's going to take a hard lick in the outside wall. He's going to come back across the track, and I believe he's going to clobber. Oh, wow, going to get one airborne here, boys. I believe that's the 20 machine.
And take a look out the windshield of the 16 coming to the green flag, John. You talk about just barely squeaking by. Holy cow. I'm running at slow-mo in my machine, and I tell you, the 16 machine, he's got the 21 dead ahead, cowboy. Broadside, and just barely manages to squeak by. So the 16 Steve Ritter, I tell you, he had his eyes closed, just hanging on to that wheel for dear life. Wow. Third caution of the night, guys, and we just barely getting this thing going. And Matt, it's it's the same issue that we saw at Dover last week. It just note to the transmission builder: can you change first gear?
Oh yeah, we wish this league ran different rules and they'd be able to change those rear end gears, but it's not one of the things that are very strictly regulated here, and they can't mess around with that too much. But what we can look for soon is guys coming down, maybe throwing a splash in the gas tank, a few of them playing out this strategy, because that would make it so they only have to make one more stop to the end. So look for people coming down, maybe filling her up with gas, putting some Ford Fresh Goodyears on it while they can, maybe more of the guys towards the back of the pack.
You bet. And let's see if we can't get a hold of Joey Gattina down there in the 14 machine down our track. Joyce, JD up in the booth, you got us up here?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
Hey, bud, we're 13 laps into this thing and already 3 cautions. What's going on down there, bud?
Just back like Dover, no patience. I don't know. We've done all we can do as far as trying to get the guys, to take their time and ease on the gas, but that's just not happening tonight. So I mean, hopefully, here in a couple of tries, we'll get this thing right. I don't know. We're all kind of just we're all real embarrassed about this one right here.
Well, it's we saw the same thing happening at Dover. You mentioned that. Is something about first gear? Is it just too much? Something with the gearbox? Anything that we can change?
Yeah, I just think that these cars have got so much more power than anything. Most of the guys are probably used to running, and they're used to slamming the gas in the trucks and the B car and so forth. You just can't do that in these cars. You got to respect them. If you don't, you'll sit around under caution all night.
I hear that, and I tell you, 3 cautions into this thing, 12 laps, 13 laps in. I hope this isn't what we're going to see here tonight, all night long at Pocono. But good luck to you down there, Joey.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Joey Tina in that 14 machine. We're working caution number 3 here at Pocono, guys. Why don't we go ahead and step away, take another commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live, cowboy. The only game in town from Pocono, Pennsylvania. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. MTCO Communications, dude, I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty, do it with R-Factor, Arca Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month, no better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers, hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. All right, we are back live in Pocono at Pocono Raceway here with the Real Sim Racers Full Throttle Cup Series here on Monday night, ETV Live. Having some issues here early on, 12 laps into this thing, 3 cautions already. The 21 car, R.J. Williams, bringing out the last one. And I believe, Matt, that he has gone ahead and pushed that car behind the wall, up on the hauler, headed for the barn. R.J. Williams for Huffman Racing, not going to be able to complete the race here at Pocono tonight.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, I've seen a few clean cars pulling down here, getting some gas into their cars, and maybe throwing some fresh tires on it in case they do get on that run, which is common at Pocono, a few wrecks, and then on that long green run, that they'll be able to make it on one stop from here. And the leaders probably will too with all these caution laps, but that's just some insurance they might want to put in their gas tank and on their tires.
Yeah, a disappointing night for RJ. He's sitting 23rd in the points, but finished second last week at Dover. So, you know, I'm certain that he's real disappointed not being able to finish the race here tonight after an outstanding performance last week. Making up the front line up here again. Of course, now keep in mind that hardly anybody has come down and taking advantage of pit road yet here. Chad Cole, Landon Huffman, Dwayne Vincent, Fouts, and Ritter making up your top 5 on the restart here. And I believe we should be getting the one go here when the pace car comes back around here again. But you know, let's talk about Pocono here for just a minute here, Matt, while we get things rolling here. Lights going out on the pace car this time, so next time around, green flag. But you know, Pocono, I mean, it's a 2.5 mile track. So is Daytona, so is Talladega. Actually, Talladega is what, 2.6 miles. But you know, Pocono being much different than the other 2 plate tracks. There is no plate at Pocono. It's an open manifold here, and I tell you, it's a very difficult track to get positions at. You have to get them early or get them on the road, man.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the trouble we see here, I think, is going to be, like, you've got such wide front straightaway into such skinny turns, and these turns, they don't allow for much air here. And we've seen guys already tonight, they mess up turn 1 just a little bit, and they're rounding into the wall. So, track's a struggle from different other plate tracks and everything, and you're hitting a little bit higher speeds because we don't have those restrictor plates there telling these guys how fast they can go. And when you're going 207 with somebody on your butt and you got to hit the brakes, it's not going to work out too well. You're more likely to get rear-ended and braid into the wall here.
You bet. And I just noticed the lights coming back on the pace car here, so I'm not sure if there is an issue happening here or not. I'm looking at some of the race chatter from the officials. I don't see anything that indicates why the lights will come back on the pace car, guys, but we'll keep an eye on it as it comes down through the short chute down here into turn 3. Now, unlike a lot of other tracks here, there's only 3 turns here at Pocono, hence its triangle shape. Unlike you know, Daytona and Talladega, where we actually call turn 1, turn 2, 3, and 4, of course, on the other end of the track. Here, it would make the equivalent of 6 turns, and I guess we just don't want to go there.
Oh man, they have enough trouble with these 3 turns, and we really don't want to add anything on more. Let's hope they can just get going right now.
All right, trying to figure out why. I'm still monitoring the race, the official chatter here in the race room. I don't see any indication, but they went ahead and turned the lights off the pace car one more time here. Perhaps somebody was out of line back here, or the flagman just didn't like what he was seeing on the way around the track here. But this time by should take us back to green flag here at Pocono. 17 laps in the book, 65 on the board. So get comfortable, cowboy. We're a long ways away. Checking over here in the chat room, it looks like Bubba has joined us here tonight. Earl19, I think that might be Bob Earl in the chat room with us tonight. Of course, had Bob in the booth with us during pre-race. Jeff Addison in the house tonight. Good evening to you folks over there in the chat room. I know Cassidy was here and gone, but I think she'll probably be back here a little bit later on. Cassidy, of course, one of ETV Live's biggest fans. But watching, okay, apparently what I'm seeing in the race chatter, Matt, is the iRacing officials apparently threw that extra caution for some reason. So we'll see what happens coming through the short chute here, heading into turn 3. Now this is where I saw the lights go back on the pace car, so we'll check one more time. Looks like everything's all lined up pretty well. Chad Cole, Landon Huffman, Vincent, everybody up here in the top 5, still looking pretty sharp, going deeper in the field. Everybody is lined up, and I believe we're going to go green this time by. So pace car getting ready to make its sharp left-hand turn. Green flag comes out, and we're back to racing. Now let's see if we can all get down into turn 1, Cowboy, before the next one comes out. Chad Cole gets a good start here with 75. Landon Huffman in tow back here, going into turn 1. Turn 1 is always the dangerous one right on the restart here. You want to try to get position, get them early, get it before you get to turn 1. Sometimes it's difficult to get a position going down Long Pond here into turn 2. Landon Huffman leading them all down into turn 2 here. It's usually where you're going to see cautions happen as well here at Pocono, as it looks like everybody's making it through 2 with success. So on down the short chute here into turn 3, and then of course the long straightaway dead ahead here. So I think we may get the first complete lap here under our belts here, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're single file on back. They got really spread out on that restart. Everybody finally took it easy for once. I didn't see a lot of people spin their tires, but a few wiggles back in the back. Looks like Landon Huffman closed up that gap on Chad Cole a little bit, and there's not much side by side going on throughout the pack, but they're just trying to get some laps in for right now, and they've already had 2 early wrecks, and let's hope that this will be able to continue.
And Keith Brooks, as the caution comes out here again, I'm just going to go to Keith Brooks here for a minute, but the caution flag coming out here again for the 4th time here, guys. See if I can roll it back and figure out who brought this one out. Again, they were pretty much single file, looking pretty good. I saw Keith Brooks coming out of the pits. He's down on the bottom going through turn 1, so the problem's there. Still looking through my monitor here. I don't see anything yet here, guys. I'm not quite sure. I'm hearing it's the 85 car, Nathan Bowers, and it is. I found it. It's going to be 85 machine Nathan Bowers right here on lap 19, going into turn 1. Actually, a problem way ahead of him, John. As, let's throw it on down to John for the geek play.
Yeah, guys. I think you're right. I think it was way ahead of here. He was one of the first cars I've seen involved in this.
Starts with a 29 when he goes to dive into turn 1. It looks like he might have hit those brakes, just slid out the rear end. He goes down to the grass and cuts back up across the track, taking out a few of his other people, comes right down on the 85 and slides back up, collecting that number 20, and just 3 cars heavily damaged in turn 1. That 20 already struggling in this race, involved in one of the earlier wrecks that happened tonight.
Yeah, I'm pulling it here back on the E1, guys. See if I can see what happened. It looked like he might have got down in the grass, and this started way back here, and he might have had some help, maybe not. Yeah, it looks like he just ran up on the 88 machine, guys, and might have got out of the gas right in the middle of the corner there, and that's not a good thing to do. That 29 is going to slide around into 85, going to make contact with him. That's where the 85 full throttle machine came into play.
Yeah, and damage to that 85 machine ever so slight, but Matt, Pocono 2.5 mile track, long straightaway, and you know, aerodynamics plays a huge part here at Pocono.
Yeah, these long straightaways with such high speeds, it's really important not to have too much damage on the exterior of that car. Any little divot or dent could really slow you down, and you don't want that. We see a lot of flying sheet metal out here in the back of the pack, and those guys aren't going 207 like we see some guys at the end of the straightaways.
Caution number 4 here at Pocono. We're at 19 laps into this thing here tonight, guys. 65 laps on the board, so I tell you, settle in, get your pillow, get your sleeping bag out, get a pup tent for crying out loud. We may be here for a while.
Yeah, JD, and I always heard that a caution lap, you can go through McDonald's and Burger King drive-through before you can make a lap around Pocono Speedway.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, you're probably right. You could probably make a lap through Burger King and McDonald's before you complete one pace lap here at Pocono Speedway, Pocono Way. But I tell you, extensive damage to that 85 machine still sitting down there on pit road as they work the sheet metal out from around the tires on that 85 car. Nathan Bowers down there, you know, pretty much an innocent bystander when the 29 got out of shape up there. But you know, something about going down that long straightaway, and I think John hit the nail on the head, Matt. You know, when you're doing 200 miles an hour and have to jump up off the throttle, that's going to settle the nose right down onto the ground, and a lot of times it'll lift that back end up just to break it loose a little bit, and I'm sure you know, losing traction, and that's probably what spun him around.
Yeah, we saw it earlier on in practice when some of the people were doing their long runs, and I was watching them. They'd go into the turn, they'd have to hit their brakes hard, and the rear end, that thing just wants to snap right around. There's not much weight in the rear of those cars, it looks like, when they go to slam on those brakes, and splitter dig in the ground, and the rear tires pick up, and they just go right around.
You bet. And no changes up on the front row up here of Cole Huffman, Vincent, and Fouts still occupying the front row up here with Steve Ritter in tow in 5th position up here. And see if we can't get we're going to see if we can't get Rick Fouts on the radio up here in the booth. He's down there in that number 12 machine. And Rick Fouts, this is JD and Matt up in the booth. You got a copy on us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bud, managing to stay up there in the top 5 pretty much from the get-go, but what's going on back there behind you?
Well, we're just trying to keep it smooth and get it going, but looks like turn 1's being a problem.
Hey, tell us about the restarts. You having any problems hooking up to the rear end back there on the restarts? You good to go?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be careful. I think once you get a couple restarts on an old set of tires, it gets easier and easier to spin them. So I think some guys are forgetting about that.
Got to be a little bit light on the throttle on the restarts for sure, but you going to be able to keep it up there in the top 5 tonight?
Yeah, I hope so.
Hey, Rick,
right.
This is John up in the ATV booth. We were just having a little conversation here, and I just want to know if it's true. One lap around Pocono Speedway, you could go through McDonald's and Burger King drive-through and still not make a lap around Pocono. Would that be a good assumption?
That is tonight. It's this is my favorite track in iRacing. Every corner is different, and I think it's a nice wide track that should provide good racing. We're just hopefully going to get to that shortly.
All right. I'll tell you what, good luck to you down there, Rick.
Thank you.
All right, Rick Fouts in that number 12 machine down there, sticking around in the top 5 up there, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, doing a fine job of it too, but I'll tell you, these cautions aren't helping him a whole lot here. He'd like to get down to do some racing here. You heard him, this is his favorite track here, so, you know, I'm sure he's looking forward to getting the throttle down, Matt, and letting it all hang loose here at Pocono.
Well, I'm sure a lot of these drivers would, just finally being able to get down the straightaways and turn a few laps without going 70 miles an hour around this track. And I mean, a lot of these guys look fast. It didn't seem like we were having these troubles when we're watching them qualify and practice, but getting these restarts down and actually pack racing, looks like these guys can't just cooperate or be too patient with each other. And they mentioned it would be a shorter race than the ones that they usually run, and shorter than the races we usually see here. And they told us guys were going to be impatient, but they didn't know it was going to be this bad, I don't think.
Probably not. And on the hauler and headed for the barn tonight is going to be the number 20 of Mike Montesi. Unfortunate for him, R.J. Williams in that 21 machine driving for Huffman Racing Team. Scott D. Collins decided to park it tonight and put it behind the wall up on the hauler. David Wright, Dane Horton. Ben Burnett out early here tonight at Pocono as well, guys. So I'll tell you, a number of these guys, severe damage on their cars. But let's take it down to the 85 machine, just making his way out of pit road here with damage to the back end of that machine. But I'll tell you what, just hanging tight, going to get as many points as he possibly can. Currently 21st position back here, but it may be a long night for that 85 machine too, Matt, with the amount of damage on it.
Oh yeah, and we're getting ready to go back green. Here's the pace cars coming to the front stretch, getting ready to make that hard left turn down to pit road, and hopefully we'll get to see them run a few green laps this time. We're looking forward to some nice racing.
Easy on the throttle as the green flag comes out, and Chad Cole gets a good restart here with Landon Huffman up on the outside. And I'll tell you, if Chad Cole had keep looking in that rear view mirror, he's going to get an eyeful of Landon Huffman here in that 75 machine real soon. Huffman, no stranger to that front row up there in that clean air as we get to racing again here. Single file pretty much all the way back. Remember, if you want to get a position, you got to get it early. First couple, 2-3 laps here at Pocono. After that, it's pretty much all she wrote, unless caution comes out again, or we get to a green flag pit stop. And I tell you, races here at Pocono have definitely been won on and off pit road. So I tell you, it means everything down there to get a good stop. 12 car of Rick Fouts wide coming off of turn 3 here. He's going to be able to keep it settled in, almost tagging a wall here. Rick Fouts running in 4th position up here. I tell you, I thought he was going to lose it up here a little. 16 coming on strong. Steve Ritter in 5th position.
Steve Ritter let up a little bit early and gave him a spot to get through turn 1 and 2, or just turn 1, I guess, here, JD. And they're just trying to get it spaced out this time, I think. And I think they're really just trying to be patient. And Steve Ritter could have pushed the issue, but he just backed on off and gave him a little bit of space to correct what he was doing.
Yeah, even all the way back here in 10th position with the 18 machine of Chad Schilling. He was running down Doug Roth up here in that 43 car. Roth with a little bit of damage on the back end of that car, but was a little bit surprised Schilling did not try to go after the position here, as he looked like he might have been able to get it, do that slingshot effect, come around the inside and use that draft to push him on past that 43, but showing a lot of patience here. The 18 car, not in a big hurry, 26 laps in the books, 65 on the board here, so plenty of time for Chad Schilling to get that 18 machine for Huffman Racing moved on up a little bit closer to the front.
I'm watching this race for the lead, and last time Landon Huffman dove it hard into turn 3, and he lost a lot of ground coming down the front stretch. And they say that's the most important turn here, because with how long the front stretch is, it's going to affect your speed the entire way down that stretch, and you're just going to continue to lose ground. But it looks like he beats Chad Cole going through turn 1, and he gains all that ground right back. So it's going to be a tight race, I think, here, but Huffman's not really pushing the issue too much yet.
No, and I'll tell you, Chad Cole came through the tunnel turn back there like a pro. Good entrance, good exit, managing to stay in front of that 75 machine as they chase each other down the front stretch here. Chad Cole actually looks like he might be pulling away here just a little bit, but time will tell. You get down into turn 1 down here, you got to wool that pony up, pull back on them reins, get them binders to stick. The 75 machine pulls right up to the bumper of the 17. If it's going to happen, it'll happen coming off a 1. Ain't going to happen, cowboy, as Chad Cole gets an outstanding run on the exit of turn 1. Low on the bottom here. We've got a slow car. Looks like, let's see if I can't come around and find it here. Somebody who just pulled onto the access road back here, guys.
And on the first green flag lap here, we were talking about how Steve Ritter didn't want to push that issue going into turn 1, but a few laps later, he was able to run that 12 down again, and he got the pass through, and that moves him up to 5th place. I'm thinking to see him scoring actually 4th place now that he's passed Rick Fouts.
And no caution came out on this one, but you might want to see if you can pull this one up, John. The 22 machine in the 14th position on lap 27 here, coming through the tunnel turn. Now we've got a car on the access road down there coming off the tunnel turn. The 22 comes around the corner, sees that car out in front of him, takes evasive action into the grass and into the inside wall. No caution flying, mind you. So still green flag racing here as the 22 crosses out onto the track here and keeps on rolling. So the 22, Ronnie Potts in big trouble coming through the short chute here now, heading down towards pit road, guys.
We talked about how hard it was going to be able to pass on those old tires, and Chad Cole's still out front. Landon Huffman, a nice run on the inside of him going into turn 1 last lap, and Chad Cole was able to pull back heading towards the tunnel turn on that outside lane, but Huffman's still right on the tail end of that car, and he's really driving it hard into the turns, digging that splitter into the ground, trying to get around the number 17 car and lead some laps here.
And only time will tell here at Pocono as Landon Huffman puts the pressure on that number 17 DeWalt machine up there in front. But let's move on back here a little bit. Steve Ritter sitting back here in 4th position, guys. Steve Ritter is now about almost, let's call it 2.2 seconds off the lead up here. About almost a second off of Dwayne Vincent up there in 3rd position. So Steve Ritter, I'm going to assume, Matt, that he just kind of backed off here a little bit. A lot of racing here to go here at Pocono. So just take it easy, take care of those tires here a little bit, and see if you can't, make the time up later on, possibly on a pit stop.
Yeah, we're assuming here the amount of caution laps that they eliminated having to make 2 pit stops here. And so only time will tell there. And they said the pits are around 32 to 35 green flag laps, but I don't think we'll see anybody even thinking about pit road until about lap 40, 45, unless we get a yellow soon.
And we were talking to Joey Gattina earlier. He's currently in 14th position in that 14 car as he goes into turn 2 here. Joey Gattina, remember, he's one of the leaders here, one of the bosses here with Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. So he's kind of voiced his concern when we had them on the radio here a little while ago. But right now, Joey Gattina down in that 14 machine, running in 14th place, looking pretty good out there right now.
Chad's shilling that last time by, going through the tunnel turn, looking the best I've seen all night. He makes a smooth move to get past Cale and that number 45 to pick up the 8th position.
All right, and Mike Montesi, who had to put his car behind the wall and up on the hauler, has joined us over there in the chat room. Tough night here, Mike, I know, but maybe we can get Mike into the booth here. And with Ron not here, I mean, who do we send to do our running around for now?
Well, I don't know, but he was looking for the Huffman trailer, he said. And a good thing he couldn't find it. He said it got airlifted out of the track and like fast.
All right. And I think we've actually caught up with Mike Montesi. At least I heard that door squeak open and close back here. Mike, you up here in the booth with us, bud? He's busy back there at the buffet table trying to get the scraps that are left over.
Well, maybe he's deciding it's better off not to speak.
I was just in the Huffman pit. I swear I saw a barrel of some funky liquid. I think those Huffman boys are soaking their tires, and that must be what RJ was doing, because there's no way a guy with that much talent loops it like that at the start.
There you go, a barrel of something.
He used the wrong liquid evidently. It wasn't the sticky stuff, it was the slick stuff.
He could see I was a little hot. He took off, put tail between his legs. He left the track.
Oh man! I'll tell you, tough night here at Pocono, Mike. Saw you guys during practice, saw some issues taking place then. What's your take on what's happening here tonight?
I think there's a little bit of inconsistency with the restarts, and it's causing, the accordion effect in the back of the field, I think. And then, I don't know, I haven't found a problem on restarts seriously, but others have complained about it. I would like to say thanks to Bob Earl for the racing seat. I really needed that, and it kept me safe there.
There you go. I know. I think that's. I think Earl 19 over there in the chairman. I believe that's a Bob Earl tuned in and watching tonight. Had him up in the booth tonight for a pre-race activity, and it was awful kind of him to join us here tonight. I'm sure we can get him back here on other nights as well. Out here on a track, the 12 car, Rick Fouts going after position here to 16, going to get it 4th place up here, Cowboys. Oh, contact! Oh. 16 coming down, almost taken out to 12. And both are okay, but I'll tell you what, that was a 16 fighting back, heading down Long Pond here, going to try to get the position back, going into turn 2. This is where the shake and bake comes from, right here, Cowboy to 12 into the turn on the high side of 16, making contact with the rumble strip, can't get it done. Whoa, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, you think there's something brewing down there? Wow, that was almost one of those pay-per-view fights taking place down there, do you think?
Yeah, and the 16 just seems to be dropping spots. He might have wore out his tires early on in this run when we first saw him trying to go by the 12, but it seems like he's really struggling. Maybe he got some damage to his car there when he tangoed with the 12, but it looks like he's just going to keep dropping back here as David Lands is now going to work by him as he drops another 2 spots.
Yeah, the 35 car of Chris Schollenbarger manages to get past him too, and the 16 car looked like going into turn 1 went in real deep, and didn't look like he could hang on to it very well. 35 car got past him, but now David Lands is back in the 33 car, 7th position on the inside of the 16, coming off turn 3 here, heading down the front stretch. The 33 going to fight for that position with the 16 car up here. But I'll tell you, that 16 not giving them up very easy, almost taking out the 12 car about a lap ago. So keep an eye on this situation. But Steve Ritter in that 16 car forced to the high side here, going into turn 1, goes in deep. David Lanza backs out, and of course, don't know whether he had the speed to carry it on through or not, but I'll tell you, Pocono.
We see Huffman back trying to pass Chad Cole again as he dives into the inside as they go through turn 3. Will he be able to get on the inside of him for the straightaway? That high side carries a lot of speed, and usually they can make the pass back, but looks like Chad Cole's going to wiggle it off of turn 3 a little bit and get that run again as they head down the front stretch past the line and into turn 1. Huffman's still on the inside. Turn 1's where Huffman's been stronger this whole night, so will he be able to complete the pass? And he lets Chad Cole go a little bit ahead, and he's back on that rear bumper, but it looks like he won't be able to do it this time. Chad Cole starts to pull off again as they head towards the tunnel turn.
Wow, Chad Cole fighting back up here, fighting hard up here to Landon Huffman, trying to get to position. Now they've got lap traffic in front of them as they go into turn 2 here at Pocono. Turn 2 being one of the trouble spots here. And talking to Bob Earl, he's driven here at Pocono too. But the last time he said he was here, he went backwards through turn 2. Of course, that was on the road racing track. Apparently they must have reversed things here. Of course, I've never driven the road racing track, and I've never even seen a road race here, but apparently on the road racing track here at Pocono, you go through turn 2 in reverse, the other way, the other direction.
Yeah, and we see our leaders single file out here and stop and get a little bit more casual as they're lapping Nathan Bowers, and it looks like they're approaching John Abbott to put John Abbott another lap down here as they head to the tunnel turn. And Huffman's actually looking that inside again as they head towards the tunnel turn. But looks like Chad Cole's still out front, and it looks like Chad Cole's actually got a couple car lengths, so I don't know what Huff's looking down so low for. So they head towards turn 3.
Almost looks like that 17, you know, I mean, he appears to be hitting his marks all the way around this thing. He gets in and gets out with ease and is able to put a little bit of distance. And what I'm seeing out of Huffman is Huffman appears to be going into the turns a little bit deeper than the 17 car. Of course, that's going to bring him right up to the bumper of Cole, but then has to back out of the throttle in the middle of the turn. And of course, Cole, you know, I mean, there again, going through turn 1. I mean, Huffman trying to take it down and run it in a little bit deeper, can't get the job done. But Chad Cole just seemed to get through there almost with his eyes closed. As we have a battle brewing back here for 7th position the 33 car of David Lanza and the 16 of Steve Ritter up here. Of course, these guys have been duking it out, coming down the short chute here into turn 3. 16 up on the top of the 33, going to go after the position here, but I tell you, the 16 looking sharp up there on the top. If he can hang on to that, get that draft coming off the wall off turn 3 here. Oh, the 33 car looks like he might have the position here. 16 car hanging on to it, going down the front stretch here, guys. But I tell you, the 33 hanging right beside him down there on the bottom. 16 is going to be out of luck getting into turn 1 here. 33 drives it down into the apron down here. Can't hang on to it. Here comes the 16 on the outside. Good battle happening here, guys. Off turn 1, heading down Long Pond into turn 2.
Chad shelling around into the wall as they go through turn 2. He is closely following the 16 and the 33. No caution yet. Causing problems for Chad Schilling as he's losing more positions. Heavy damage to that 18 machine, it looks like, on the right side.
Yeah, I just rolled it back on my monitor. Maybe worth a second look here on the picture-in-picture here, but I got him going down the Long Pond here, and it just loses it right before the turn, guys. Don't know if he got on the binders too soon here and brought that back end up off the ground as he started making a turn. That's usually what would take place there, right here at the tunnel turn. But heavy damage to the right side and right rear of that 18 car, guys.
Quick information: Joey Keena hit pit road just a few laps ago, and he threw 4 fresh tires and filled that thing up. And it looks like he's, with the pit margins we've got, he's good to go to the end from where he pit. Maybe he thinks that early pit stuff will help him pick up a few seconds and a few positions in the end of this.
All right, and Joey Gattina with a 12.1 second pit stop down there, 4 tires and fuel for that 14 machine. So tell you what, they're working out some strategy here early at Pocono. 42 laps in the books. Why don't we go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. You're watching live ETV Live Cowboy, Pocono Raceway with Real Sim Racing League, Full Throttle Cup Series, so don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. All right, and we are back live. Let's take you back to lap 41, pass to the lead. We believe the DeWalt machine, the 17 car, Chad Cole, wore him out here in the last few laps here as Landon Huffman takes position away from him, heading down the short chute into turn 3, and that's going to put Landon Huffman out in front. Then next time around, Chad Cole makes his way down pit road, and it was 4 tires and fuel, 12.3 second pit stop for Chad Cole as he makes his way back out onto the track. So right now, Landon Huffman making his way down pit road. So green flag pit stops underway here at Pocono. We'll keep an eye on the 75 machine. He makes his way down pit road. And Matthew, it's a long ways down pit road here at Pocono.
Yeah, it's a long ways down, and they got to make sure that they're being able to keep that pit road speed limit exact. You can't go too slow, you can't go too fast. Going too slow with how long this pit road is, you're just going to lose so many spots, even just maybe 1 mile an hour under the speed limit, and it's so crucial to get your pit stops right here. And just none of these guys can really afford a speeding penalty tonight.
You bet. 12.4 second pit stop, a tenth off of Landon Huffman. Chad Cole out of his box and making his way back up on the track here at Pocono. So right now, Chad Cole sitting in 6th position on the scoreboard, but we'll wait till things cycle around here a little bit.
Race leader Dwayne Vincent just takes that hard left off turn 3 down pit road, and it looks like he's going to come in and put 4 fresh tires on it. And I believe that's most of the guys up front that have pit. And I don't know, maybe on my score monitor is a little bit off, but it looks like Guy Schneider will be taking the lead if he doesn't pit this time by.
And I think Guy Snyder might have already pitted, guys. So this may be a little bit of strategy working out. Guy Snyder will be your leader with Doug Roth in 2nd if it all works out. But Guy Snyder making his way through turn 2 right now, and he'll come around as Dwayne Vincent has made his stop. He's exiting turn 1 right now. So I tell you what, pretty good separation here between Vincent and Snyder. Snyder's going to pick up the lead this time by the start-finish line. And we believe Guy Snyder has already made his pit stop. No, Guy Snyder heading down pit road one more time. Going to make a 2nd stop here, guys. Snyder giving up the lead here in that 27 car. Now, not quite sure what's going on here, guys, but Guy Snyder making his way down pit road. So giving up the lead, that will put Dwayne Vincent back up front here at Pocono.
No, we didn't see Guy Schneider pit on earlier at all, but Chad Cole's actually in the lead. Landon Huffman, Dwayne Vincent, I think that does it for our green flag pit stops.
All right, Guy Snyder, 4 tires and fuel back out on the track, and then, of course, here comes the 17 machine as everything gets cycled out. So we'll move Chad Cole up to the front. Chad Cole, go ahead.
And JD, like we mentioned, getting down pit road and holding that speed limit and getting everything just right is so valuable. Chad Cole was behind Landon Huffman by about probably a second when they were going to go down pit road, and Chad Cole pit just 1 lap earlier, and he's picked up, it looks like a 2-second lead over Landon Huffman.
And a reminder, Chad Cole had the faster pit stop, a 1/10 of a second faster. But I'll tell you what, when you're down there on pit road, that's probably 1 lug nut, Cowboy. So Chad Cole getting in and out of pit road in record time down there to Landon Huffman's 12.4. Chad Cole picks up the lead one more time here at Pocono with Landon Huffman trailing behind, about a second and a half behind. Now, Dwayne Vincent, who looked like he might have been able to hang on to it up here, he's running about 3 seconds behind the leaders up here. So, and then of course in fourth position, that 12 machine, Rick Fouts, able to hang on to the top 5 up here. A little bit of damage on the right rear of that machine. And then in fifth place, Chris Schollenbarger, about 9 seconds back. So 48 laps in the books here at Pocono, 65 on the board. So Matt, we're on the short end of the stick here, Cowboy.
And man, I'm watching these lap times between Chad Cole and Landon Huffman, and it looks like Chad Cole is just pulling away a couple tenths of a lap for right now, and maybe Huffman is just taking it easy, realizing how much they both tore up their tires racing so hard on that last segment. And Dwayne Vincent's running equal lap times with Landon Huffman, not really dropping off that second place driver at all.
You've got cycling back through the field here, and as we got an issue back here, it's going to involve the 94 car in 17th position of Tony Kaler back here. Caution coming out here, guys, as the 94 car goes for an E-ticket ride. Roll it back here and see what happened. I've got another car up in front of him that's having some difficulty. Actually, it's going to start with the 69 car of Joseph Hayes, guys. He comes off of turn 2 into the wall, and then of course right behind him is Tony Kaler in that 94 machine, and makes contact, and around he goes. Let's throw it on down to Magic Fingers, the legend himself, for the E1.
And guys are getting... Sorry, a little feedback there. He's getting a pretty good run here, and that 69 just going to come off that corner, guys. He's going to get loose, and the 94 is going to tag him. Just not much room for that 94 at all coming around that corner there. And wow, that 94 is going to broadside the passenger side of that 69 machine, guys.
And around he goes for what we call here on ETV Live an E-ticket ride down the short chute here at Pocono. That's going to bring out caution number 5 for the night here, as we put 48 laps in the books here at Pocono. So I'm wondering, Matt, you know, we had just about all the leaders have already made their pit stops. You know, opportunity presents itself. I mean, if you're Mark Martin, probably going to come down and get 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats. What do you think is going to happen here, bud?
I think we'll see a lot of guys come down and maybe take 2 tires, and those guys in the back, they're really going to take advantage of this and put 4 fresh ones on it, and maybe a few people are going to stay out and take some track position. We see Chad Cole and Landon Huffman make dive bombs out back onto the track just as they're about to enter pit road, and they might have decided all that track position they could have lost wasn't really well worth it.
51 laps in the books here at Pocono, certainly on the short end of things here. 65 laps on the board. Dwayne Vincent makes his way down pit road. Now he was occupying that 3rd spot up here. So I don't know, is this going to be a smart move for this 13 machine or not here? I don't know yet. David Lanza also staying out with Guy Snyder, Rick Fouts. So I mean, Rick Fouts actually coming down pit road, but Guy Snyder staying out, David Lanza staying out. Now, Dwayne Vincent, 4 new tires. Rick Fouts, he's going to come out with 4 fresh tires. I don't know, Matt. You think something for the leaders up there?
No, track position's everything here, and I think by the time that they're able to work their way back up there, it's not going to be enough. They'll burn them up, and by then, it seems like Chad Cole and Landon Huffman can just get out to maybe a 1-second lead over the 3rd place guy, and Dwayne Vincent being the fastest guy I've known close to them, I really just don't think it was a smart move with all the positions he's going to lose and not really still be able to hang around with all those old tires and everything.
I don't know, guys. I think I'd take 4 fresh meats with going to be about 13 laps to go. That's a lot of laps around Pocono Speedway, boys.
I mean, he could be right. We're watching the end of those runs around 20 laps and 25 laps where Chad Cole starts just getting loose sideways off the turns, even in the tunnel turn, which isn't as bad as the other ones, but he just started to wiggle it off, and that's when Landon Huffman was able to get by him.
All right, a couple of different scenarios playing out here at Pocono on the closing laps. Why don't we go ahead and take a trip through the drive-thru? We'll step away and take a commercial break right here, right now. You're watching live ETV Live Cowboy, Pocono Raceway with Real Sim Racing League Full Throttle Cup Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. MTCO Communications, dude, I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty, do it with R-Factor, Arca Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month, no better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers. Hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. All right, we are back live here at Pocono Raceway. 53 laps in the books. We're on the downhill side of things here tonight. 65 on the board, so not too far away from that checkered flag here tonight. But what's happening out here on the track? Chad Cole, Landon Huffman faked that last pit stop, decided to stay out. Landon Snyder as well, but Rick Fouts, who was running up here in the top 5 pretty much all night long in that 12 machine, decides to come down pit road. 4 new shoes and a bit of oats for him. And he's got, let's see, a number of cars. He's going to restart in 11th position, guys. So he's got a long ways to go to get back up into that top 5 again here at Pocono. So lights are up on the pace car as we get to set to take this thing to green flag one more time. Chad Cole, he's got a seat full of those green flags up here in the front. He's going to have Huffman, Landon Huffman on the outside. Of course, these two have been duking it out from the get-go. David Lanza, Snyder, and Roth for your top 5 on the restart here. So we'll look for the tire spin as the pace car comes off, and we get back to racing here. It almost looks like the 17 machine. Matt might have got a little bit sideways on our restart.
Yeah, and we've seen a little bit of that out of everybody tonight. It looks like Huffman.
Three wide going into turn one with the 13 in the middle, in ninth position back here, guys. 13 just motors on through. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Matt, but the 35 to 13, 3 wide going into turn one.
That 13 on the new fresh 4 tires, and he was able to probably just put it right down to the mat almost on that first restart, and everybody's sitting back taking it easy on their old tires, and he's just going to shoot the positions he can. He's going to use those things as quick as he can because it's hard to pass on old tires here.
It's hard to pass anyway here, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, that's just the nature of the game here at Pocono Raceway. And, you know, like we said at the beginning, you got to get it early because, you know, you're just not going to be able to get it later on in the race here. This thing's starting to wind down here, 54 in the books here. So we're about, we'll make it 55, 10 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. About 10 laps, that's a long ways around Pocono Raceway here. Let's take a look up in front here, the 75 machine of Land and Huffman trying to put the pressure on Cole. Had it once and gave it up here through a series of pit stops. And I'll tell you what, Huffman has been chasing down that 17 machine pretty much all night long. Caution back out on the track here again, guys. This is the cycle it around here and see if we can't pick it up. Yeah, I'm seeing a 3 wide situation right here going off of coming off of turn 1 here, John, on lap 55 back here with 14th position. Actually, it's going to be just in front of that, about 12th and 13th position up here, the 43 machine. Getting just a little bit out of shape up here on the top side. Trying to hang on that position outside of the 46, but just comes down. I don't know if he can contact with the 46 or not, John, but let's take a look at the E1.
Let's see if we cue this back on the E-Play machine. It's been busy all night long here at Pocono Speedway. See what happens as they barrel into the corner here, and the 12 car is going to try and make it 3 wide. He's all right, but the 46 slides up, tags the 43. Going to spin him around in the outside wall, guys, and all mayhem's going to break loose back here.
And we got to remember we talked to RC earlier on in tonight's broadcast, and it's just been a rough night with him since the start. And he got taken out one of those first couple of restarts and heavy damage. He finally got it fixed, and it now looks like he's caught up in another mess. So it's a hard night for that number 19 machine.
Absolutely, but I'll tell you, a driver who actually made out on that one is going to be Rick Fouts in that number 12 machine. All that's happening on the outside of him. He's on the inside, coming through turn 1. 46 and the 43 have at it up there, and Rick Fouts gains a couple of positions here. So.
You know what I'm looking at, JD? John was talking about how that 13 came in, got the 4 fresh tires, and I didn't think he'd be able to work his way up here that fast. With that restart, he's now going to be right on the tail of those old tires of the front 4. Maybe he can get something done here with his little strategy playing out.
You bet. Just inside the top 5 and 5th position, Dwayne Vincent in that Tabasco machine down there, number 13 car. Looking pretty strong here tonight at Pocono Raceway. He's got David Land and Guy Snyder to contend with up there too, but I'll tell you what, Land and Huffman has been chasing down Chad Cole. Chad Cole certainly the class act here at Pocono tonight, but he's got some tough competition behind him. Guy Snyder and David Land's, you know, nothing to just pass off here. But of course, Dwayne Vincent looking pretty sharp here in the last part of the race. Now, Guy Snyder sitting 3rd in the points, guys. He finished 7th at Dover last week. So Snyder might be able to do something here tonight at Pocono with Huffman and Cole.
Yeah, Guy Snyder, he's not too far back in points, but he didn't qualify too strong. He didn't. In practice earlier, he wasn't looking like he was a contender to win this race, but obviously over the past 57 laps or so, he's learned a little bit of something. He's actually been able to keep somewhat up with those lead cars.
You bet. And I'll tell you, while we're at it here in the booth, we got a little bit of time. Why don't we do a couple of plugs? I want to tell you about the after show here at ETV Live. The leader in sim broadcasting with ingenuity and vision, ETV Live has set the bar in providing the best online simulation autosports broadcasting. We are your autosports entertainment network. ETV Live features the very best in online simulation racing, including road course racing, dirt track, stock car racing. Enjoy the after show, a 24-hour
Hey, JD,
network.
guess what?
What?
And I bet you'd see this. I don't know if we'll see the thrills on the after show from this race, but we'll definitely see the spills.
You bet. Stills and thrills, and probably coming from Pocono here tonight, a few of them at least. But I'll tell you, the after show, 24-hour network featuring reruns, ETV Live's top 10 racing events, blast from the past. I know John just put a couple of them up here over the weekend. Some stuff broadcasted early on in ETV Live's early history. The pit report, Klein Corner, just coming through just a damn minute series, and just a whole lot of stuff coming your way on the after show here at ETV Live, new 24-hour network. So etv-eplay.net is where it's at, Cat. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about, too, we had him in the booth here tonight, Bob Earl, joining us during pre-race activities here at Pocono tonight. Big thank you to him for, of course, sponsoring the season championship prize here, one of those Mark II virtual racing chassis here for the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. And I'll tell you, it's in a simulation racing cockpit designed by Bob Earl, a championship race car driver. You heard his resume early on. And I'll tell you, he understands what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. I mean, after all, he's a race car driver. Who better to have someone build your race car, your racing seat to your simulation racing cockpit than a race car driver? The design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame, additional monitor stand and shifter mount sold separately, $349 cowboy plus shipping. You can take a look at it over at bobberolracing.com. A bunch of them sold. ETV Live is proud to endorse this product because of its design, and it's an inexpensive, high quality and affordable alternative to all those others that cost thousands of dollars. Order one today, bobberolracing.com.
And I believe if we can find our host, JD, Tuesday night, I believe it's supposed to be our first airing of Klein's Corner. So let's see if we can find Klein and his gang there to air our first episode.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, Klein's Corner is going to be kind of an after-hours talk show. You want to put the kids to bed when that show comes on. I'm sure they let it all hang loose over there. But I'll tell you what, looking forward to that and a whole lot more on the after show here at ETV Live. In the meantime, out here at Pocono, it's the same old story up here in front. It's Huffman chasing Cole, Guy Snyder in mix with David Lanza. Dwayne Vincent looking awfully sharp here tonight. And Matt, coming off that last caution, taking a 3 wide to 13 machine, just blasted to the front up here. So look for Dwayne Vincent to possibly give Huffman and Cole a run for their money in the closing laps here at Pocono.
Yeah, that man's been looking patient all night, but I know he was the fastest to close out our practice session, and the way he took that last restart, I don't think he's willing to be patient anymore. So it's going to be a strong showing, hopefully, from him, and hey, with his 4 fresh tires and maybe a few adjustments that he made, he'll be able to work his way past those 2 guys that have been leading the race this whole time. It only takes to lead the last lap. All you got to do is lead 1 lap to win the race, and that's the last one.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, Chad Cole and Landon Huffman, Guy Snyder, they're all out here on older tires, at least 5 or 6 laps older than Dwayne Vincent. Now, believe me, at a place like Pocono, that makes a huge difference here on these big tracks. So especially here at Pocono. But we'll see what Dwayne Vincent's got for him on the restart here. Lights are out on the pace car coming through turn 3 here. He'll make that left-hand turn down pit road, and we'll get back to racing here. Watch for the tire spin again deep in the field as we get ready to go green flag. at Pocono for what could be the last time when they cross the start-finish line. It will be 60 laps with 5 to go. The green flag is out. And the wheel spin right up there in the front with 27 machine. Guy Snyder spinning the tires, diving to the inside, staying out of trouble. Good hands move there as the 35 machine, actually the 13 machine, that takes it to the bottom up here, making a run for the money up here. Third place, Cowboy, as they start pouring the coals on here at Pocono. Caution coming out here for the 7th time here tonight, guys. See if we can't roll it back, and it's got to be back here in the back somewhere. I'm hearing the 16 machine of Steve Ritter, guys. Oh, he goes for a big e-ticket ride. Looks like he got a little bit wide coming into the turn. Contact with the wall. You got the 20. Oh, the 27. Contact with the 27 sends the 16 into the wall. Oh, and the melee happens behind him. A lot of cars involved, John. Let's throw it on down to Magic Fingers for probably what's going to amount to be an extended E-play here, guys. A lot of cars involved.
These guys all scrambling for position right off the restart here. 27's on the inside. He's going to come up, make contact. The 16, we've seen that a lot tonight. He's going to go on the outside wall, guys. I believe we're going to see him come back across the track. Oh, and then there's the 12. Going to crunch the 14. Going to shove the 12 up into the wall. 12's going to take a massive leak. He comes back down and hits the 16 who originally started the caution. Wow.
Oh, yeah, and I'm actually looking even deeper. It just continues after that even. Looks like the 10 car, John Abbott, just narrowly, oh, no, he did. Even the 10 car gets a piece of the action here as well. The 43 car involved. And a 12 car, oh man, that's really too bad. Rick Fouts, who was doing an outstanding job keeping that machine up in the top 5 pretty much all night long. Rick Fouts, along with Dwayne Vincent, to opt to come down pit road, Matt. 4 tires and fuel for both of those machines. Dwayne Vincent looking sharp, getting back up into the top 5. Rick Fouts trying to get there, but of course with the damage on his car now, ain't going to happen, Cowboy.
I'm pulling this back one more time, JD. They're almost 4 wide with the 16 coming off the wall. The 14's just not enough room. He ends up turning to 12, and he is just going to take a devastating lick on that outside wall, guys.
Yeah, it looks like Guy Snyder and that 27 machine just drifted on up into the 16, and, well, the rest is history.
What I'm really going to be looking for is that 13 on the restart. He's been really strong. Maybe he can split these leaders and just pull away on those 4 fresh tires. He's just been so strong on those past few restarts.
You bet. Everybody tuning in for the final laps here at Pocono. Of course, I guess this is the best time to tune in at Pocono anyway. I understand the real race yesterday afternoon was the same deal. If you wanted to see it, just tune into the last 10 laps. That's actually where all the action took place. But
JD, Jerry Wolf's in the chat room, and you know what he thinks about Pocono.
Oh yeah,
it always holds true every time we do a broadcast.
well, I'm sure to get him up here in the booth and have him tell us about Pocono, we'd be here for another 4 or 5 hours. So,
I love this racetrack, but it's usually a mess.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. And 62 laps in the book. When we get back to green flag, it's going to be a 1-lap dash to the finish line. So I believe it's going to be a green and white together, and then of course the checkered flag. So I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take what looks like will be our last commercial break of the night here. You're watching live, ETV Live, Pocono Raceway with the Real Sim Racing League. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
MTCO Communications, dude. I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty. Do it with R-Factor. Arca Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month. No better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers. Hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. Back live here at Pocono Raceway with the Real Sim Racing League Full Throttle Cup Series here on Monday night. And then we are off tomorrow night, and then coming back live on Wednesday night. Join us at about 8:30 p.m. for 30-plus racing at Michigan Speedway. In fact, like we said earlier, I think John was, I think I seen John out here before the show here tonight, this afternoon, actually washing and getting the old Winnebago ready for our trip to Michigan. Going to be in Michigan all week. And then on Thursday night, Gunner for SR racing at Michigan as well. And then winding up on Friday night showdown with David Bass, Michael Conti from Michigan International Raceway as well. So lots of action coming your way here on ETV Live. And then don't miss dirt racing here. Actually, it's going to be pavement racing, but it'll be in the midgets at South Boston Speedway. Some short track action in the midgets. You don't want to miss that one either at 9:30 on Sunday night here on ETV Live. But you can check the schedule out at etv-eplay.net. While you're there, hey, take a gander at that 24-hour channel, the after show. Pace car coming through turn 3 here, guys. My bad, coming through the tunnel turn here, heading down to Short Chute, for what could be the last time here tonight, as we're going to have, I believe, Matt, it's going to be basically a one-lap shootout.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be, and we're looking for that 13 to be real strong. Like I said before, he's been going 3 wide on the restarts and being able to make those passes work. So also, I'm looking to see a lot of people spin the tires. They're going to really want to try and get going, but hey, one lap.
I'm taking bets.
I'm
taking bets, guys. Who wants to take the bets in Vegas? We'll have another caution.
Well, if the caution comes out again, if the caution comes out again, it'll be lights out, Cowboy. But green flag racing again here. Chad Cole picking it up. 75 car Huffman up on the outside. And the 13 car of Dwayne Vincent looking real fine here in the closing laps here tonight at Pocono. He goes in hard going into turn 1. He's got the bumper of the 17 right in his the sights, the old gun sights here. Oh, the 75 makes contact with the wall. That's going to slow him down a little bit, side by side, heading down the long pond into turn 2. one more time around. This is going to be it, Cowboys. The 75 and the 17 fighting it out up here in the front. 17 gets the better run off turn 2 here. But here comes the 13 on the inside down the short chute, heading into turn 3 here as the 75 goes deep into turn 3. Coming off the turn, final turn here, guys. Coming off turn 3, DeWalt of Chad Cole out in front to 13. In second place here, 13 of Dwayne Vincent. What an awesome run for him here tonight. And Landon Huffman's going to finish 3rd here at Pocono. 1 lap shootout here at and the closing laps here. And I'll tell you, you know, we did have some issues here. 6 cautions at Pocono. 65 laps on the board here for tonight. But I'll tell you, the finish was well worth the wait, Matt.
Well, I'm hearing, JD, that 75 might not get the 3rd position. It looks like he may have beat the 17 to the line, but the results are still unofficial, and we're going to have to wait to hear on that. But congratulations to Chad Cole on that hard-fought win, and it was a nice race for that checkered flag.
You bet. I'm actually... well, I'm not quite sure what went on down there with the 75 machine, but the unofficial results are Chad Cole comes in first, Dwayne Vincent second place, Landon Huffman in 3rd, finishing 4th tonight is the 35 of Chris Schollenbarger with a good performance. David Lanza, who fought back from an earlier issue today at Pocono, with a solid top 5 finish, 5th place for him tonight here as well. And as we watch Chad Cole burn what's left of the tires off on the front stretch here at the start-finish line, why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break. We'll get ready for the post-race show here at Pocono. So don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back.
Yeah, JD, before we go to commercial, I pulled that up on the rewind, and that 75 and 35 wasn't even close for 2nd place.
All right, then. All right, we'll go ahead and step away, take a commercial break, and when we come back, your winners. All right, welcome back to Pocono Raceway, and we're here with the winners here tonight. 65 laps later, but it did come out without some hard-fought battles here and a few cautions. But Chad Cole taking the check home tonight along with the trophy. And I tell you what, Cowboy, one more time, class act at Pocono here tonight.
Yeah, JD, I tell you, I mean, that was one heck of a battle Landon had going on with myself, and throughout the whole race, really, we just finally got going green, and he was just relentless, really, just right there the whole race, and finally got a green flag pit stop, and came out, I think, 2 seconds ahead of him or so, and he started reeling me in pretty quick, and I think those cautions probably saved me, to tell you the truth.
Let's take you back to just a little bit past halfway. You made that green flag pit stop, but just prior to that, it looked like Huffman got the lead from you, took it away. It looked like he was running away with it. What was going through your mind at that point?
I think it's over, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I had to slip up in turn 2 there, and just had to wait to get back to the gas, and pretty much had to give it to him. But lucky everything played out.
You bet. And I'll tell you, we were watching those pit stops. You had a 12.3 second pit stop to Huffman's 12.4. So I'll tell you what, looks like you beat him by about 1/10 of a second. So, you know, 1/10 of a second here at Pocono, that means everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, but he got those killer bees in the pits, and always practice pit entry in practice. So I'm never unprepared for that. And I think that's what definitely helped me get that 2 second lead over him.
All right. Well, you're certainly closing the distance on Landon Huffman, 7 points behind coming into Pocono tonight. Going to be a big points night for you tonight for sure. Finishing 15th at Dover. Any shout-outs out there you want to give?
Yeah, the guys at RSR, Real Sim Racing, putting on the Full Throttle Cup Series. ETV guys, JD. It's always fun going back watching the broadcast. And
hey, what about me, Chad? You always say JD. Come on, give me a little credit. Don't forget, I push all the buttons. Without me, it don't happen.
All right, John too. John in the booth. He's good. But Bob Earl Recent Seats too for sponsoring Full Throttle Cup Series.
All right. I'll tell you what, you know, if we don't do nothing else here on ETV Live, we certainly have a whole lot more fun than them other guys, for sure. Congratulations to Chad Cole taking the big one home from Pocono here tonight. I'm going to throw it on down pit road. I believe Matthew Close standing by with our second place finisher tonight, and an awesome performance, Dwayne Vincent.
Hey, I'm here with Dwayne Vincent. You finished 3rd place, and second place, I'm sorry, and ran strong all race long. Dwayne, you got anything you want to say? Like, how was the track, and what did you think about all these cautions you guys were having?
Well, the cautions were a mess, man, but in the end, it ended up being a blast, man. Landon and Chad up there, they were really fast, man. They were class of the field.
I've got to ask, man, when you saw them swerve out and not pit, what were you thinking when you were still riding down pit road to come get some fresh tires on your car?
I was thinking I messed up big time. They fooled me good on that one.
Do you think those fresh tires helped you out a lot on the restarts? We saw you able to gun it the last couple of times, and you gained a lot of positions just on the restarts.
Yeah, it definitely helped me at the end, man. You know, when I first went out, came out 9th, I was like, man, I really messed up. But after the restarts and once we got going again, I realized it kind of helped me a little bit.
All right, well, good race, and it was a nice finish for you. You got anybody you want to have a shout-out for?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the guys at Real Sim Racing for letting me in here. I'm really having a blast with it, and everything you guys do with ETV, I appreciate everything you guys do for all the sim races out there, and all my teammates at Red Ass Chassis Works, man, a bunch of good guys, and Bob Earl for sponsoring that stuff.
All right, well, I'm going to send it back up to John, who should be with our 3rd place finisher, Landon Huffman.
I sure have. I've caught up with Landon Huffman in that 75 machine. First off, Landon, I want to ask you the most important question of the night. Who's your daddy at ETV?
John Wessling.
There you go. See, JD, I got fans too.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Anyway, spectacular run tonight, Landon. Led a bunch of laps here tonight. Had a lot of competition with Chad Cole tonight. Tell us about coming off that last turn when you licked the outside wall and let Dwayne Vincent go right around you.
Yeah, I had a heck of a restart that last time. I don't think I could have played that any better. And I was actually pulling him there off of corner number 1 and got into the fence a little bit, but I don't think really that's what killed me. I think the tunnel turn's just a really tough turn to enter on the outside and really killed my momentum. I had to slow it down there to keep from slamming it off the wall and let Dwayne underneath me, but I gave it my best shot. I mean, you know, for the race to start out like it did and have all those cautions, I was just glad to be able to put some green flag laps down, and I don't know, it turned into a really good battle with me and Chad, and I know we had Bob Earl watching us, and it started out a little rough, but hopefully we put on a good show for him and all the people that was watching.
And Lannis, walk us through the beginning part of the halfway point, up to the halfway point at the beginning of this race. What was the biggest problem with was it just wheel spin on these restarts? It seemed like there was a lot of issues with that. Was the guys just not knowing their horsepower, or kind of walk us through that?
Well, these Cup cars are the biggest test on the iRacing service, and it's really tough to restart, especially in second gear. You really have to, I mean, you can't just mat the throttle. You really have to, you know, be patient with it and let the tires grab, and you know, sometimes you have to short shift to third to keep it from top ending right there. And I know it caught RJ, my teammate, and a couple other guys, but this track's kind of difficult to restart on. It's really wide, which you would think would be easy, but it just makes people think that they have more of a security than they really do when they're restarting. But yeah, I'd like to thank the team. RJ Williams, Addison didn't get to run tonight, but another teammate, Tony, he filled in for him. He didn't have the best of luck, but all the guys that run, Chad Schilling, Jay Horton, his son Dane, he got to run with us tonight. He had some computer issues, but fun group of guys to race with. Bob Earl Racing Seats for sponsoring the series, and my personal sponsor, Sim Seats, for sponsoring me and my real racing and on here as well.
Once again, guys, another spectacular and exciting race here at Real Sim Racing tonight, JD. Great race. Once we got going, had a little issues at the beginning, but had a good run. This race had a little bit of everything, JD. A little excitement, a little crash up, bang up, and a nice little green flag run there towards the middle.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, you know, a couple other drivers we were watching early on, and unfortunately got mired up in a couple of cautions. Guy Snyder in that 27 machine really thought he was going to have a good, solid top 5 finish tonight. Coming in third in points, finished 7th last week at Dover. He's going to wind up going home tonight in 16th position. And then, of course, the other one, the other car that we were watching was the 12 machine of Rick Fouts. Rick going to finish 21st tonight. Really thought he might have had a solid top 5 finish here tonight as well. Looking pretty good in the early going here, Matt. All right, I think Matt. I think Matt hightailed it downstairs.
I seen him down there. JD down there putting the lawn chairs up in the umbrella, putting them in the Winnebago for the trip to Michigan.
All right. I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and clean it up here and get on out of here. And you know, once again, check it out: etv-eplay.net. Tons of racing coming your way this week. Going to happen from Michigan Speedway. So, like John said, we're getting a Winnebago ready, and we'll hightail it to Michigan. I want to thank Bob Earl for joining us during pre-race activities today. Bob Earl Racing. You got to check that CDOT Cowboy, BobEarlRacing.com. And for $349, I mean, who better than to have build your simulation racing cockpit than a real race car driver, Bob Earl? And again, big thank you to him. And thanks to everybody here, Joey Gattina, John Abbott, the whole crew here at Real Sim Racing. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. So for Matthew Close, John the Bad Boy, the legend, Magic Fingers himself, Westling, we'll catch you next time on ETV Live.